Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to From the Depths with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the adventure mode. In today's video, we have two goals, the first of which is to continue to head back to our original spawn point, at least in terms of location. Of course, now we are in a different plane of existence, going through all the portals, but I would like to get back to the exact starting zone just for the fun of it. Apparently, we really should be heading west if we want to avoid all the storms and the bad weather, but it seems like the bad weather's following us either way. The second goal is to find a blue portal. This is going to massively increase the difficulty of the game, but it will allow us a lot of time, because the blue portal leads us to a realm of absolute nothingness, for us to convert our craft and do some serious building. We have 200,000 resource right now, and I have a few very weird ideas for the craft. Probably already spoiled by the title of the video, but either way, we will continue with that nonetheless. So, let's continue. Apparently there is an enemy nearby, as I accidentally go into third-person mode there. There we are. And let's continue on. So what are you? Well, you're a wave at the moment, but let's send out a scouting missile, because, you know, that's the way we do things here. That is the Swordfish, which I believe is a Deepwater Guard airship. And now we're getting closer. Yeah, I'm almost certain of this fact. That's not going to be a particularly difficult enemy to kill, if it is the enemy I think it is. My god, is the weather okay here? Seriously? Okay, blue portal in the air there. We're going to just ignore that one. Too difficult to get, well, too annoying to get to. We're going to continue to our normal zone. Plus, the whole normal weather thing is pretty darn lovely. One thing I want to say is firing missiles manually is really satisfying, because they continue to fire as long as you hold down the button, so you can fire the exact amount you want. Well, the enemy has flares, but not against radar, apparently, and it has teleported. No, it is AI dead. Here it comes. It's definitely gonna die before it reaches us, though. What a shame. Still, some nice and easy resource. Oh, look at this. Isn't it beautiful? No more rocking around madly. No more feeling mildly nauseous. Just a lovely, stable bit of water for us to go on. Shame this is so rare. We've apparently been hit by, oh, a tiny little plane, who's now after something else. Well, it was a very successful hit and run on his part. He'll probably come after us if he wins that fight. If he doesn't, well, he's going to just distract the other enemy, and so we're free to go. Just some very minor damage there, a little bit of wood knocked off. I believe that was one of the craft that we used to test out the darts on. So agile, but not all that much firepower. Whilst the water is nice and the sun is bright, building can continue. A lovely time indeed. And let's just pretend I'm not building something a little bit on the weird side, because, you know, I'm a very normal builder when it comes down to it. Ignore the fact we are a cross between a hammerhead, a broom, and a spike. Sometimes you just gotta stop what you're doing and kill something nearby. I mean, it's a natural impulse that I'm sure everyone gets once in a while. Maybe that's why so many of my pets are predatory. Don't like how it looks. Okay, is that in range, you think, of the cluster missile? That is a good question. Speaking of predatory pets, my father is talking about getting a new pet piranha. Well, two pet piranhas, because keeping one alone is very sad. Just a random bit of Lathrix lore there. I used to have pet piranhas. They're adorable. And hello! I love how they always hit the opposite side. No, it went down too fast. The missiles, no, most of them still made it despite that. Yep, AI dead. What a beautiful craft. I really, really like that. Plop. One shot, one kill. I mean, does that still count as one shot if it's a cluster missile? I'm gonna say yes. I mean, I know I'm in a bit of a sadistic mood right now, but the water went red for a second there. Good to know the very environment bends to my emotional will. What are you? Only one way to find out. Shoot at it. Oh, why not you? Ooh, there's a nuke then. That is way out of range. I thought it was way closer. That normally spawns... There they are, little fellas. Okay, make a turn. Let's turn on our anti-aircraft weaponry. Oh, reloading. Aww. Look at that little missile. That's so cute. I approve the effort. Ah, those missiles will still go after the larger enemy, won't they? Oh, that's a lot of shots. Your parent is far scarier than you, I have to say. I mean, that's probably intended. Okay, let's go into the bunker. I mean, that's just me firing at me with so many shots. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, still out of range, just fired a couple of smaller shots then just to see. Fire the cluster, that should be in range, however, fire the normal missiles once the hatch is open. There's the cluster shot. Hello! And AI dead already, lovely. EMP is one of the hardest counters I've ever seen for any enemy who does not actively protect against it, but it is not particularly difficult to protect against. It's one of those weird things. Like, Minecraft is actually quite EMP resistant. We have no AI, so I mean that makes us quite immune anyway. But we have loads of wooden armor, we have stone in the core, and I even have added a few surge protectors here and there to protect the few parts we do have which are vulnerable. So EMP shouldn't do much to us, as we've seen in the past. Oh, that's definitely an enemy with a nuke. I love nuke-bound enemies. Especially when the nuke's on the outside. It's just so satisfying to make them pop. Some tiny craft around here. I may have fired a cluster by mistake before this. It almost looks like the poor thing's mutating, doesn't it? Weird, that. It'll only hurt for the time being, don't worry. Look, a blue portal. Still don't care. We continue east. It's a lovely bit of weather at the moment. I'm not jeopardizing that. There we go. So now we can thrust down. Oh, let's not go in that portal, so let's allow this to get back up again. Come on, climb a little bit. It's a little bit of altitude, please. And there we are. And then we nosedive once again. This is going to be fantastic. Now, all we need is some decent automatic roll control whilst we're in the air, and then the ability to turn left and right, and we essentially have full air control. We can fly for as long as we want, but it's going to be a manual flight, and it's going to be really, really annoying. So, the sides here, you may have noticed I've been building these out, will eventually become jet holders. Custom jets. The idea is I want to be able to have a burst of speed when needed. I was going to build it this high up, but now I'm realising that lower down would be better. I just wanted it attached to the superstructure because that's all meant to be attached to the main hull. So these will probably just stay here for a while as a little bit of added protection. So let's sort out the roll and the thruster base turning, and let's see if we can get full aerial controls. Rise from the water, my beauty. Oh, this is so weird to be on. Love it, though. Okay. So now we should be able to turn right and left. And we have full air control. Now again, it's not a particularly graceful flight, but that's kind of the point. I don't want it to be a true flyer. This is definitely not meant to be the preferred mode of transport, but when the weather's terrible, or I just want to get some fresh air, you know? Sometimes you just want to go into the air. And then, once there's an enemy nearby, we crash to the ground and smash right into their face, breaking every bone in their little brain. Because brains have bones. I'm a biologist. You can trust me. I mean, I'm actually a microbiologist, so more about disease and such, and even a bit of biowarfare in there, but, you know, you can trust me nonetheless. No villain would say trust me, for instance. I can't believe this is working so easy. This is like the very basics we need, and already it is technically functional. But yeah, clearly we need jets. At least when we're airborne, we need the ability to toggle off and on jets, because we just don't have enough propulsion to make this really work. Ooh, there's an enemy. Right in our path. As the waves swell. Well, if that isn't a sign, I don't know what is. A normal sight to see, I imagine. We didn't quite hit it on the way down, but there we are, now at point blank range. Hello. Another good thing with this is it means we can control our pitch whilst we're on the water level, which means we don't have problems with the ocean again. Oh, that is wonderful. So we can get to the target nice and quickly while being evasive, although we are currently showing our weaker underbelly. We then devour the target. There we are. And then we move on to the next. Which is whatever you are. Tiny is the answer. And now dead. Then off we go, because our people need us. So yeah, we need way more control still. That was really difficult. But we did land right next to the enemy. This is so silly. So inside the craft, I just put a load of these. The universal flight surfaces, and yep, that is definitely working. That makes us way more aggressive on the descent. And we can even raise ourselves up a little bit faster. Okay, that is interesting. How about turning? Does it work with those? No, not quite, but that makes sense. Never really used them, honestly, the universals. Which are these. We could add a little bit of lift to this thing if we added some internal wings, because wings do work even if they're not actually, well, where you'd think they'd be. Internal wings do work. Not much lift, just enough so I'm not having to constantly pitch up aggressively. I bet those people who are asking for this thing to fly didn't expect this. And yes, those are wings. Kind of makes me think of a beetle. A really grotesque, horrible, horrible beetle. Well, it is making us a little bit easier to fly, I gotta be honest. But then, of course, if we want to enter the water again, we just land, and we should be able to just maintain water level as per usual. Yep, now we're back to how we normally are. Now, I can add PIDs to make this a bit more stable, but yeah, I'm very happy with how this is turning out. Again, very early days. I was going to wait until we enter the blue zone so we can do a full thing, but instead, one bit at a time. It's almost beautiful. I mean, it's not, but it's almost. So having so much pitch control does actually have a lot of benefits. For instance, if we want to be a coward at some point, we could always turn into a sub. Since we do have detection systems on normal, it means that a lot of enemies won't be able to fully detect us if we're underwater. Now, we do need the ability to turn off our jets if we're below a certain altitude, because right now, as you can see, we're just wasting power. Though our power does come from RTGs, so as long as we don't need the power for something else, it's not too bad. It's a backlist of many things we need to do. But yeah, so we can do that. It also means when we're in the water and there's all those waves and we're trying to hit an enemy, we can actually decide on the angle of our attack, so we can decide on how we hit them. That was actually the main reason I originally wanted to add all these to the side. That and I just thought it would look really, really stupid, and that made me happy. The fact we can kind of jump fly if we want to at a stretch is just an added benefit of silliness, which, again, makes me happy. Using one PID, yep, we are now hydrofoil. Still very slow, though. Despite this. It may have something to do with the wall we have in front of us, which is maybe, just maybe, adding a little bit of drag. Now, that was really easy to do. All I used was a general purpose PID, simply hydrofoil angle control, input, altitude above mean sea level, then I set the fake point to 10. That was it. The reason why I stopped there is because I put down another one. We could also control pitch, so we're not, you know, still pitching down, but again, we do actually want to pitch down in order to hit the target. So here's the question. If I do this, do I still have the easy capability of flight? I mean, it is only controlling those. Oh, I do lose control of some of the hydrofoils. It makes it a little bit more difficult. Now, we can always turn it off by a specific button press, but there we are. Nice and easy. Still have flight controls, and we are now, technically speaking, a really slow hydrofoil. What is this thing? I'm just putting so many things on it. It's just, I don't even know what it is anymore. I'm sure at one point I had a general idea of what I was going to build, rather than Hammerhead Beetlestein. Hello. Oh, yeah, being able to control the angle there was beautiful. Our control in headbutts has increased. Now, you're really annoying, but apparently you're so annoying that our missiles don't even want to fire at you. Okay, so let's use our proper anti-aircraft weapons here on the tiny aircraft. So I've gone through another red portal, as you can probably tell, because now everything's reset again. The scaling is kind of tiny. So, oh, apparently my harpoons did reach the enemy there. He's now AI dead. And so we continue on. Apparently we went so far east, we have overshot east by more than we was west. Gosh darn it. Okay, once again we're going west then. I was having too much fun flying around, okay? Turning is still horrendous on this thing. Turning while flying is actually better, so let's just... There we are, become airborne. Looks like we're trying to ram one of these poor seagulls. That's interesting. Ooh, our roll is messed up. Why? Yeah, why are you guys currently set on? When did I mess you up? Huh. Weird. More things to work on though, once we eventually get a bit more time to work on them. Today I actually have very little time to record, I just had to test this out. It was just necessary. For my own sanity. Why are you so difficult to hit? And so EMP immune! The actual godly enemy. So at this angle, our altitude is almost stable. That's just the tiny flyer from earlier. What a bizarre experience. If we added some more wings to the innards of this thing, we could probably make it just glide. Which is silly. Again, I don't want it to be a flyer as a main propulsion type, so I should really stop working on it now. I want it to be an option, so it can go under... It can be a sub, a flyer, or a hydrofoil, but I don't want anything other than hydrofoil to be its main type. So, if I keep on working on our aircraft capabilities, I'm going to end up just being in the air all the time. I want it so... I want it so when the ocean is horrible again, I can just fly right over it. Okay, I've set a balancing PID now, which means it's trying to keep us level, unless I am assuming direct control. Oh my god, you can go through wings. Why can you fall through wings? Oh, I had a heart attack there. Well, that's the end of Lathrix. Oh my god, why can you fall through wings? What just happened? Okay, I need to rewatch that footage. Let me gather myself for a second, then I'll say what I was about to say. So what I was trying to say is this. I have set up a PID, I've just made a mock version here, which is simple as this. It's trying to keep our pitch at 0. Now, I can override this by just using the controls, and as you can see, it will try and flatten out the craft, which allows us to glide. The idea is now, for flight, because this is way more fun and way simpler, we just get loads of altitude, then we let go, and we glide down slowly like this. Well, slowly-ish. But my thought is, we could just add more wings and have a really slow descent. Just makes me feel like I'm actually jumping to the next area, you see, rather than it being me constantly fighting the controls to keep altitude to go forwards. Just high up as possible, and then a slow, casual descent. Lovely. And splish. Remember when I was saying I should really stop messing around with flight controls because soon it's going to be easier to fly than, you know, go on the water? I think I've just hit that point. So I've just set up a PID system which I can turn off with a single button, which will automatically make us fly. And will keep us level. Again, I need to learn the breadboard and everything, which is actually... It's difficult to start with, but I've seen some tutorials and it seems like you can get the hang of it quite quickly. But I love the old PID system and controller block system. It's clumsy, but it just works for me. And I will eventually swap over, but right now... Yep, we're now flying. The only issue we have is we are very slightly... No, are we slowly turning to the right? It's hard to tell. No, we're kind of swaying left and right slightly, and I think that's the PID trying to stabilise everything, especially with roll, so... Yeah, we're gaining like 1 meter of altitude every 30 seconds or so, and that's quite easily fixed by just very quickly clicking one button. There we go. We are now stable. I need to stop. It's already got to the point where I think I may have made it easier to fly than to be on water, but if I keep on going, it's just going to be stupid to go back into the water. But I love the idea of this thing being a flyer. But it's everything and nothing all at the same time. Yeah, we're definitely slowly turning. I wonder why that is. Our propulsion is stable, and it is definitely balanced. Our engine currently can deal with this output. We're not losing energy. We've got spare energy and spare engine power. So why is it constantly trying to turn? Could it be the spin blocks in the drag? We're only slightly turning. It's not difficult to fix it. There we go, it's fixed. But I would like to know what the problem is there. Yeah, look, it's definitely the drag. The drag's all over the place. It's just bouncing around. I think that could be because of the spin blocks. The spin blocks shouldn't be spinning us one direction. Actually, will they? Now I think about it. No, because essentially what I have is I have one more going backwards, counterclockwise, than I have going clockwise. But then... Darn it. Because of this, I've halved the power of two of the ones which we have more of, so we're getting essentially the same amount of power both ways. So that shouldn't really be the issue. But it is something I need to look into. And I'm just rambling at this point. Okay, I'm going to call the episode here because I desperately need some sleep, and I've had loads of fun today messing around. This has actually been almost 3 hours of recording because it's just been me messing around trying to figure out how to do certain things, and I'm hoping it just gave a good example of what I'm trying to go with in terms of this craft. So tell me in the comments below, should I focus more on the aircraft capabilities? Should I go back to making it more general purpose? Should I go back to being more water dominant? I'm not too sure. What I really think I'm going to do is, this is going to be the end of messing around with the air capabilities. Why do I occasionally fall through things? No more heart attacks? Good. So, as I was saying, I think this is going to be the end now of me messing around with air capability. It's going to go back to focusing on the water and making sure the water skimmer elements are better, and then make sure we can become a sub if so desired. I want this thing to be able to do all three roles, I've said many times now, with being on the water as its primary, being able to skip along like this if I get sick of the water itself. So, thank you so much for watching, hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, then likes, favourite, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that From the Depths is a series you wish to see continued in the future. This might be my favourite series on the channel ever at the moment. It's just so silly and goofy, and I'm really happy that everyone seems to be enjoying it as well. So those likes and those comments are very, very appreciated. And it also helps out the channel, so you know, it's a win-win. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Also, on a side note, I know that my typing currently is really picking up on the mic. This is because my old mic stand has broke, so currently it is just resting on the desk with absolutely no protection. I will be changing that as soon as possible. However, for some reason, I can't go out and just get a new one at the moment. For obvious reasons. Thank you again for watching. I will try and fix that as best as I can. And I'll see you soon. What is going on there?